Hello everybody and welcome back. I killed the laser cutter. So, did a whole bunch of test cuts, tried getting it, and this guy on the top left is basically what I got. This little hole took me 8 passes to actually cut it through. The snap on the top, because I had to actually snap it to get the piece out. So it stopped cutting completely. The first thing I did to try and figure out the problem was I started taking out some of the mods that I put in. First thing, laser bed. Maybe I didn't have it in the right focal plane. This height seemed to work with the power that I had on there, etc. So put the bed back in. Don't like it, but I put it in. Didn't work. Second thing I tried, maybe the air is cutting it off. Unplug the air. No joy. Third thing I tried, which worked. This little guy, which used to be this little guy from air feed, has got a whole bunch of problems because it was bouncing off the side. It was actually bouncing off the side of this tube, heating it up. It was physically hot to the touch, and it was actually hitting it. So the hole down there, significantly larger, much more room for error than this little guy. I don't know if you can see them, but that's the comparison. So I swapped out this guy, put that back, then I threw this guy on, put it at the right height, ran it through, and it cut this out. That makes me happy. That is phenomenal. So this actually cut one pass all the way through, and I even ended up burning the cardboard on the bottom, which means my power was set way too high. I started out at 90%, burned the crap out of the cardboard underneath. Bumped it all the way down to 20 and still got some burning. So it's not as dead as I thought it was. Now for the part of the video you guys are actually here for. Let's do some RJ45 testing, see if this is the right tolerance. Maybe we'll make a panel tonight. Wouldn't that be cool? Let's do it. We've gone upstairs. I've got a little RJ45 jack. Let's see if this dimension even fits. I have not done this, so I don't know if it's going to. Holy crap, it does. Like, this is perfect. Wow. And there's no play. Like, nothing horizontal, nothing vertical. Holy crap. So 2mm, perfect for this. That is definitely going to be the bottom panel for that. So I think it's actually time. We're gonna go cut some real acrylic, like the real stuff. Let's go do it. Since this clamp has just the right offset that's about the same height as my material, I'm literally gonna set the material on here and cut directly on it. Seems easy enough, right? Let's try it. I don't want this paper to burn on there, so I'm going to take it off. I don't want my panel to smell like burning paper. Can't really see, but I have got the setup. The laser cutter is as far to the right as I can get it, and it's as far over as I can get it without exceeding the limits of the hole. We're gonna put in the acrylic. It is flat, square. We're gonna give this a cut. So it did not quite make it all the way through. I'm gonna run a second pass. Not all of it went all the way through. That's annoying. Let's do it again at like 50%. Drop it off for that one because it's already done. Like just the barest hint on some of them, but only some. This should get it all. Ooh, yes! I did cut it off right as it went through. Laser is off. Ooh, that's so cool. So this is an 1/8 of an inch thick, or a little over 3mm for the non-Americans. And this is what we have on the way out. A couple little melted bits, but that is surprisingly crisp. Let's test and see if everything fits. Got a whole bunch of stuff. We've got our panel. Let's check. Fits. A little looser than I was expecting, but it fits. A 3mm LED goes in there. Does not really poke up. Not noticeably. That's phenomenal. And then we have M4, just an example one. Oh, that fits perfectly. That's a great one. I like that. And M5 goes on the ends. Ooh, fit pretty decent. A little bit of slop is not bad in this one. Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so this is actually a dual direction. We can actually put that in now. We will have to remove it to do the LEDs, but I need to figure out some wiring stuff later. I think I know how I'm gonna do it, but until I do, I'm not putting in LEDs and permanenting things to the point that I have to desolder. Not ready for that kind of commitment yet, but for now, we can screw this little guy in, get it relatively square. I'm gonna grab the wrong wrench for the right job, keeping it square. That is not bad, pretty set in position. Let's cut the other two. All right, that's the middle one. Did not like the speed on that one, but it seems to have cut fine. It does fit over the nuts. The holes line up. Cool. Last chunk. Birdie pops on like that. And let's run some screws, bolts, stingers for now. Okay, I need two. These standoff. These are the only short and fours I have. For now, we're gonna use these. Top and the middle. We're just gonna screw it in. Keep things decently lined up if possible. I mean, these are basically our alignment pins. Now we do this one, goes that, screw that in as well. Again, no LEDs yet, because, well, wiring. Gotta figure that out. We can actually use the small ones. I don't need something that big. I need a screwdriver, because these are really hard to grab. Go figure. That is the first panel. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, I gotta flip that, because OCD says everything must face the front. That'll help if I put it in. That gives me just enough space to do some wiring. Now I've got to paint this in the top one, do a little bit of engraving, and we will be just peachy. So I'm gonna paint this top one, just the top and the sides, and the question is, do I want to do it all? Yes. So I'm gonna flip it, paint this little guy in the middle with a diffusing coat. Then I'm gonna reassemble it, spray paint the whole thing, and that'll be the black. So first coat, we're gonna go do that. Okay, this next part's gonna take a couple of iterations. This is essentially going to be my little diffusing material for the LEDs. I need to basically screw the whole thing together, and I'm gonna include this black piece purely because this has a slightly different finish. So we are going to spray paint it just so we get a consistent finish. But I need to screw these together. That way I can align everything. But instead of leaving all the screws together for painting, I'm going to really tighten one of them and then remove the other one. That way it will stay in place, because I need to essentially spray paint this whole thing, but if I leave a screw in there, it's not going to be completely coated. I need to get the sides, etc. This, I'm hoping, will have LED light come through it. It'll be diffused from the back, but I need to paint this whole top and around, but I don't want to get the underside where the text is going to be, or else there's not going to be any light that comes through. So I'm going to align it with these two. I'm going to tighten this one down pretty good, hopefully without stripping it, and then I'm going to hang it just like this and spray paint all the outsides. I don't really care if I spray paint the bottom. I don't actually want to get those, so we're going to actually put it straight flat, spray paint like so, or I might just tape the, no, we're just going to put it flat, spray paint, all good, and then I'm going to have to shift that over for the second coat, or the third, depending on how we do it, and that should work well. Let's do that. See that little black circle? I need to paint that. That's pretty much the last part. It's looking pretty good, and then I've got to engrave the text on it. So we'll do that after I paint. So first finish painting, and I'll meet you guys over back at the laser so that we can engrave it. Okay, the last thing we have to do is to engrave it. We're going to cut the pattern in there, that way I can align it, and then we're gonna actually cut it. So here goes. Okay, now to see how she looks. Not bad at all. It cut way deeper than I thought it would. That looks pretty good. Let's take it out, assemble it, and see how she turned out. Okay, it's all assembled. I did end up rigging a little power supply with a resistor into it, and it doesn't look half bad. So I do need to actually get a transparent 50% opaque middle layer instead of the frost. The frosted glass spray works a little bit, but I still get hot spots in the center and kind of cold on the side, hot in the center, but that is a-okay for now. It looks phenomenal, definitely readable. I'm gonna make this dimmable later. etc. That's a whole bunch of electronics that I'm not going to get into yet, but I think I have the basics that I want to do. It's not going to be something like this. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.